Hi, everybody. What we're looking at right now is a box design with 4 panels that will print flat on the ground and then slide into place. This pattern is called a Voronoi pattern. That is a mathematical term, and it just means a pattern like this with a field broken up into different regions with lines. I don't know if that's the right way to pronounce it. I think the gentleman who invented it was French, so maybe it's Voronoi or something, but I don't know. Voronoi is what I'm going with. So I think this would work fine as a design, but I have a better idea. So I want to start over. I'm going to the dashboard, which I get to by hitting the rainbow icon. And then as soon as I'm there, I'm just going to create a new design. Let's start from scratch. Okay, so central to this activity is the shape generators. You can drag the box over here to different things. But today, let's look at the featured shape generators. Lots of these are very useful, but I'm going to grab the Vironoi shape generator and just drag it over. Ooh, it's tiny, so I'm going to hit the F key to zoom in on what I have selected. And I have the shape menu here. I'm going to hide it for just a second. We are going to mess with that. So I'm going to zoom out. And I want to drag this to the correct size that it's going to need to be to fit as a panel of a box. And I think 4 inches by 4 inches is a pretty good way to do that. So that would be 100 millimeters. I'm going to stretch this until it's about 100 by 100. And actually, one easy way to do this is just to click on that and type in a number. And this is good if you want something to be perfectly lined up. Okay, so that's 100 by 100, or about 4 inches, a little bit less. So let's look at the settings for this shape generator. There's a randomizer, and I can change that to change the pattern. We will use that in a second. You could break it up more if you want more cells. The important thing to me is the spacing. I'm going to use this as a cutout, and you'll see that in just a second. But what's left is going to be the gaps in the middle. So I want to make sure the gaps are big enough to be strong. And that means, I think, at least 1 millimeter. At least 1 millimeter. So let's space it out by, I'm just going to type in 1 right here. Now let's make it 1.5. Nice and thick. Great. So I'm happy with this. This is pretty much all I needed to do with it. So the next thing is I'm going to cut this out of something. So let's go back to our basic shapes. And to create the first panel, I'm just going to get one of these red boxes and I just drag it over. I want this to be just like the other one, 100 by 100. In fact, let's make it a little bigger. Let's make it 105, or let's 104, so I can go 2 millimeters extra on each side. And hold on, I can click on this and click on this, 104. That's good. Great. And I'm going to flatten this down. How thick does the wall need to be? Well, 3 millimeters is thin but strong. That's good enough. 3 millimeters is good. So I want now to make this a hole and then stretch it just slightly taller. That's even. I want it to be a little taller. And I even this out. And I use the F key and I look around from different angles.